Good evening. The February 8th, 2022 Liquor Board hearing is now in session. Welcome, everyone. The board now has all meetings transcribed, which serve as minutes for the hearing. The board keeps such minutes stored electronically, and they're available to review by calling the board for an appointment. I now make a motion that the transcripts of the previous board meeting held on January the 11th, 2022 be accepted as the board minutes for that date, and I ask for a second.
This is Commissioner Duffy. I second the motion.
Second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. And now I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Praley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jimmy Praley, counsel to the board. At the beginning of every meeting, I make a few brief announcements. First, the commissioners before you tonight are part-time public servants, and they all have other outside interests. When they know that they have a conflict of interest or the appearance of a conflict of interest, they will recuse themselves. However, they can't possibly know who's going to appear from the public in any given matter, which may in fact present a conflict. So if anybody believes that any commissioner or commissioners, as the case may be, has a conflict in any matter, you need to announce that to us as your case is called, and then the commissioner or commissioners, as the case may be, will deal with that accordingly. If not, the commissioners will proceed forward with all hearings under the assumption that there is no conflict of interest. Second, the rules of this board provide that the chair, for the purposes of administrative and judicial economy, can have the board's counsel rule on admissibility of evidence and objections if counsel are present and objections are made. I don't think that should be an issue tonight, but the board handles many cases at every hearing, and this assignment allows us to expedite the hearings. So there is an objection made, rather than me turning to the chairman, advising the chairman turning back to me, I'll simply make a ruling, and my ruling will be that of the chair in this board. As everybody can see, we are still in a virtual land. As such, this board has adopted special rules, as many other jurisdictions have. Those rules are available and published on our website. Pursuant to our virtual rules, anybody who wishes to be heard at the hearing who's not a participant to a specific proceeding in the applicant's case needs to submit written testimony to the board at least 5 days before the hearing date. Any submitted writings from the public are automatically accepted as an exhibit to the applicant's case. Other than that, while the public is welcome to view tonight's proceeding, individual members of the public will not be allowed to participate in the hearing other than by way of written testimony. And it's my understanding that there has been no written testimony submitted by any members of the public for any of the cases before the board tonight. Finally, renewals are right around the corner. As has been customary and the policy of the board and its administration, the board is unable to process and issue new licenses and transfers from the period beginning February 28th through May 1st, 2022. So with that, I will turn it over to our Chief Inspector, Wayne Harris, who can call the first case. Mr. Harris.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Praley. Chief Inspector Wayne Harris. The first case this evening will be Celebrations at the Bay, known as C and EE Inc. Robert C. Goyena Jr., President, and Robert C. Goyena Senior, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer. Inspector is Roland Marshall. There are no restrictions on this license. This is a change of officers and a downgrade. Currently, G. Clark Elliott, President, and Mary Ann Goyena, Secretary on behalf of C and EE Inc., trading as Celebrations at the Bay 2042.
Oh, I apologize. Waive reading. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Carter. We have to, because this is all virtual hearing.
So I'll apologize again.
That's quite all right. It's quite all right.
Okay, this is a Class B beer, wine, liquor, dancing, and Sunday license. It's a Class H beer, wine, liquor, dancing, and Sunday license. That's the change. Okay, Mr. Praley, sir. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please raise your right hands. Okay, do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
Robert Goyena Jr., 3758 Spring Meadow Drive, Ellicott City, Maryland, 21042.
Thank you.
Robert Goyena Sr.,
And your address, Mr. Goyena?
I'm sorry, 2034 Knollview Avenue, Pasadena, Maryland, 2122.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Praley?
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. Ms. Carter, I appreciate you trying to waive the reading to save us a little time, but unfortunately, with these
Yeah.
virtual hearings, we gotta hear it all. But you know the drill, ma'am. This is your chance to present the case, your client's case to the board. You can do so by way of proffer, testimony, or a combination of both.
Well, with the board's permission, I will do a proffer. I understand you guys would like to get out of there by 7 o'clock, and I will do everything I can to accommodate. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, we have filed an application with the board with the exception of the amendment to the original application, switching the shares of ownership with Junior having 99 and Senior having 1. There are absolutely no changes to the application as we stand before you today. This business has been in operation in this family since at least 2002, possibly 2001, without any violations. We're not making any changes to the mode of operation. It will continue to operate exactly as it has, according to the rules of the state and the laws of this state and the rules of this board. My clients are well aware of the fact that they are responsible for any violations that occur, whether or not they're on the property. But this is a family-operated business, and it's fair to say that at all times that there is something happening at this location. There's a family member on site, and as you may tell from the address of Senior, he lives literally next door to this property, and that would be our case, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carter. Mr. Chairman, any questions of Ms. Carter or her client's perspective?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
I have no questions, sir.
Commissioner Snoops, any questions?
No questions.
All right, Ms. Carter, anything else you'd like to add?
We would respectfully request that the license transfer and downgrade be approved. Thank you.
All right, with that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we grant the change as stipulated, and I look for a second.
This Commissioner Jeffrey, I second the motion.
And seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your consideration tonight.
Thank you all. You're excused in this case.
Thank you
The
very
next
much.
case, this is Chief Harris with the Liquor Board, El Toro Bravo, known as Toro Bravo Inc. Milagro D. Hernandez, President, Inspector Nicholas McGarvey. This is a change of officer. Currently, Rockford E. Towles, President, 802 Pinnacle Drive, Suites 107-109, Linthicum, Maryland, 21090. It's a Class H license for beer, wine, and liquor with music and Sunday license privileges. There is a restrictions, and they are as follows. On 10/14/2014, first restriction is hours of operation Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 a.m., Sunday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Second restriction, only one TV is permitted under the special music license. Number 3, before outdoor service is approved, a detailed plan of the fencing, access, and the seating must be submitted to the board. Anyone wishing to testify, please raise your right hand. Okay, do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Use your voice.
Okay, thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
Milagro Hernandez, 1002 Stein Road, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21060.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Mr. Praley?
Thank you, Inspector Harris. Mr. Gardner, good to see you tonight. If you could just put your name and address on the record for us, and then you can proceed with your client's case by way of proper testimony or a combination of both.
Very well. Thank you very much, Mr. Paley. Good evening. My name is John K. Gardner, Gardner. My office address is 7433 Baltimore, Annapolis Boulevard in Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21061. I have with me, of course, Milagro Hernandez, who's the applicant, prospective licensee holder, pending the board's approval. And I also have one of the other stockholders in Toro Bravo Inc. With me as well, Jose Beltran. I will proceed by way of proffer with the board's and Mr. Praley's permission. Number one, I think the board recalls that this hearing was postponed at the last minute from last month. And that was because of former counsel Joseph Rouse's infirmities. And I had no idea that the meeting was going to happen until the day of the meeting. And so frankly, I was caught off guard. Mr. Rouse was very ill with cancer and has since passed away on January 21st. My clients came to me, and I do want to take this opportunity to ask, to thank Judy Hagner, Ed Aronson, and all the liquor board staff for the accommodations they have presented so we could be here tonight with this transfer application and hearing. So that's my first point is thank you very much for your courtesies. I would like to introduce Milagro Hernandez to you. And she was an immigrant from El Salvador in 2008 and became a naturalized U.S. citizen in May of 2014. Since she has been here, she has worked in various restaurants and went to work for El Toro Bravo when she had re-met with Mr. Beltran, who was already a stockholder by that time. She started working at El Toro Bravo in 2018, first as a server and then a waitress. And about 2 to 2.5 years ago, she took over management duties of the establishment when Mr. Beltran himself was not on site. She has, according to Mr. Beltran, has proven herself to run the place very, very well. This is, anyway, she had known Mr. Beltran before, and he told me that he felt he could entrust her once he had observed her working at the restaurant for about 1 year to 1.5 years before she took over any management duties. She did so about 1 year before this application was filed in the early part of 2021, and has obviously served in that capacity before the application was filed and since. And I don't know of any violations that have happened in that time. This is a family type restaurant, and there's a total of about 14 employees, with about 6 of them part-time. And so that would be my proffer of testimony. If the board has any questions, then I have an offer that I'd like to make after the board asks any questions of Ms. Hernandez directly.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gardner. Mr. Chairman, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
Yes, I do have one question in reference to the hours going to remain the same based upon the restriction. Are the hours going to change at all?
If they are, Commissioner Duffy, I had discussed that beforehand, and my understanding that the hours are even shorter than what's permitted under the license.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I just wanted an answer of whether or not it was because you didn't state.
That's a very good question, but I beg your pardon, I should have, and thank you very much for bringing the question up. No, the intention is for the hours to be at or less than what's permitted under this license.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I have no other question.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Duffy. Commissioner Snoops, any questions?
No questions.
All right,
Mr. Praley, I would like to offer into evidence. There's an exhibit list that I had sent over last Wednesday, February 2nd. That's an exhibit list of a variety of documents that had been submitted with Mr. Rouse's original application in February of 21. There was a supplement that I had made on January 20th. And then there was an additional supplement on February 2nd with a variety of the licenses and permits that were necessary that I sent over to Ms. Hagner last Wednesday. I would offer all of those into evidence in this case.
Absolutely. And if those were submitted timely, so those will be accepted. And I'm assuming, Mr. Garter, those are just supplementary documentation that's necessary to effectuate the transfer, right?
Yes, it is. Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. So with that, I would ask for the board's granting of this transfer from, I think it's Mr. Toes, who said he wanted to go off the license, and to add Ms. Hernandez, who is giving new meaning to the American dream since she got here 13 and a half years ago.
Okay. Based on that, Mr. Chairman, any additional questions or comments?
I don't have any questions. Oh, well put, Counselor, by the way. Ms. Hagner, are we good with the paperwork and everything that's been submitted?
Absolutely. He's completely
Okay.
up to date.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. I don't have any questions, as I mentioned. Any of the other commissioners?
No.
No. Okay, well, I'll make a motion. Then we go ahead and grant the change requested. And I look for a second.
I would second the motion to grant the change.
Thank you for the second. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's carried. Thank you and good luck.
All right, well, thank you very much to all of the board, and again, to Ms. Hagner, Mr. Aronson, and Mr. Paley.
Okay, good night.
Take care.
All right, good night. Thank you all very
Everyone's
much.
excused. This is Chief
Thank you.
Inspector Harris calling Beacon Waterfront, known as CH Beacon LLC. Devin Glackham, managing partner. Rebecca Fox is a member. The inspector is Alan Levy. There are no restrictions on this. This is a transfer. Currently, Andrew Parks, member on behalf of Annapolis Culinary Concepts LLC, trading as Sam's Waterfront Cafe at 2020 Chesapeake Harbor Drive, Annapolis, Maryland 21403. This is a Class D for beer, wine, and liquor. Allows dancing and Sunday privileges also. Anyone wishing to testify, please raise your right hand. Please, thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, I believe you're muted, Ms. Fox. Okay, I assume you answered in the affirmative?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
550, or Rebecca Fox, 550 Rockwood Court, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Thank you.
Devin Glockham, 2000 Alice Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Okay, Mr. Hyatt, sir, if you'll identify yourself for the record.
Thank you. Yep, Alan Hyatt, 200 Westgate Circle in Annapolis.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Praley, we're ready.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. Mr. Hyatt, you can present your client's case by way of proffer testimony or a combination of both, but we'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Praley and Mr. Chairman. I intend to proceed with a proffer, and I'm here on behalf of Rebecca Fox and Devin Glockham, and they are the members of CH Beacon LLC. This is a request to transfer a Class D license, as Mr. Harris indicated. And this was formerly trading as Sam's Waterfront Cafe. That property or that business traded for 17 years within the Chesapeake Harbor community, which is right off of Edgewood Road, just outside of the city limits of Annapolis. The facility as a restaurant bar has been there since the inception of Chesapeake Harbor, over 30 years. It's kind of a unique situation there because there's 400 plus residences in that community, and then there's another 250 slips in a marina immediately adjacent to this property. So it services the community, it services the marina, and there are residential communities up and down Edgewood Road. It's really a neighborhood type of an establishment. I don't think you've ever had any problems coming out of there. The residents wouldn't stand for it. And it's been a popular establishment, particularly seasonally, because there's some outside seating. The seating capacity totals 98 inside and then 56 outside, which of course will be during the warm months. And the business is to be trading as Beacon Waterfront Galley and Bar. The testimony from the witnesses would be that the restaurant would offer a limited menu, but it changes regularly because it's seasonal, and they're also dealing with the supply chain difficulties in juggling a menu. The hours of operation proposed would be noon until 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and then open until 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. There's not going to be any loud noise coming out of here because, as I say, the community just would not stand for it. Not likely to see any loitering or difficulties, never has been over the years. Mr. Glockham is the 49% owner of this LLC. He's going to be the day-to-day operator. His experience is extensive, over 25 years in the restaurant business. He's performed almost every job there is to perform in restaurants and quite capable. He has most recently been a general manager in a restaurant in Washington, D.C., but did work with Ms. Fox at a restaurant called Level that was in West Street, downtown Annapolis, for a number of years until that business was sold. Mr. Glockham would tell you that he's going to supervise the personnel, establish the rules and regulations in the establishment, and he will make sure everybody's tips trained within 30 days after employment, and he and Ms. Fox are, in fact, trained, alcohol awareness trained. He has not held an alcoholic beverage license before, although he has served alcoholic beverages as indicated, and he's been involved in every aspect of the restaurant business. He knows his responsibility under the law and the regulations. He and Ms. Fox have a copy of the regulations. He's a resident and property owner in Anne Arundel County and a registered voter. Ms. Fox is also a property owner, registered voter in Anne Arundel County, and she has familiarized herself with the rules and regulations of this board. Ms. Fox was a licensee at Level, never had any issues whatsoever, and she knows what the restaurant business is all about. Both of them would testify that the application that they completed is true and correct, and they are fit persons, they believe, to hold a license, given the fact that they have no criminal background, no problems in the past with alcoholic beverages, and they are trained for alcohol awareness and understand the rules and regulations of this board. I had submitted in a timely fashion exhibits 1 through 10 to Ms. Hagner, and I would offer them into the record. The sign was posted properly. And with that, I would respectfully ask that this board approve the transfer unless you have any questions for me or the witnesses.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Mr. Chairman, any questions of Mr. Hyatt or his clients?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions or comments?
I have no question. Thank you.
Commissioner Snoops?
No questions.
All right, anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Hyatt, before we turn it over to the board for deliberation decision?
No, I think we have a nice establishment here that's going to open and support the community and will be very popular in that community.
All right, thank you. Mr. Chairman.
Well, I hope you are, for sure. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we grant the transfer, and I look for a second.
I second the motion to grant the transfer.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? You're muted, Otis, if you want to go on record.
No, I said aye.
Okay, you were muted.
No,
I didn't hear
no, no, I'm not muted.
Okay, we've got a
We got
full
it.
count and the motion is carried.
Yes.
Congratulations, good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you all. You're excused.
Thanks.
This is Chief Inspector Wayne Harris calling the next case, Spring Hill Suites by Marriott Annapolis,
All right, just leave.
known as PDOF Annapolis F&B LLC. Susan Greentree, authorized person, Christopher Beck, authorized person. The inspector is Alan Levy. There are no restrictions on this license. This is a transfer. Currently, Adam Bernstein, member, Mark N. Duber, member, and Joseph S. Galley, member on behalf of Admiral Hospitalities LLC, trading as Spring Hill Suites by Marriott Annapolis at 189 Admiral Cochran Drive, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. This is a class LSH, beer and wine and dancing and Sunday privileges. Anyone wishing to testify, please raise your right hand. Okay. Do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that you are about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record, ma'am.
Susan Greentree, 257 Overleaf Drive, Arnold, Maryland, 21012.
Okay, Ms. Schreckenghost, if you'll register as the attorney.
Thank you very much. Leanne Schreckengoss with Royston Muller McLean and Reed here on behalf of PDOF Annapolis F&B LLC. Good evening
Okay,
to you
we have
all.
a Mr. Beck. Is he going to be testifying?
He's supposed to be on the call.
He's here.
We actually
Yeah, I
communicated.
see him.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I can see him.
Okay. Will you please identify yourself for the record?
Yes, sir. Christopher Beck, 12454 Blissful Valley, Fairfax, Virginia, 22033.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Fraley?
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. Mr. Beck, before we get started with your attorney taking over, you were on mute when we administered the oath. I just want to make sure that we have an affirmative yes, that you will agree to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Ms. Schreckengast, we'll let you take over. You can proceed by way of proffer or testimony or a combination of both.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fraley. I'm going to proceed by way of proffer. As Mr. Harris indicated, this is a transfer of a liquor license for the Spring Hill Suites located in Annapolis. The brand of the hotel is not changing, nor is the day-to-day operation of the hotel. It's a change in owner and operator. The licensees in this case are Christopher Beck and Susan Greentree, who you just met. Mr. Beck is the corporate director of food and beverage for Peachtree Hospitality Management Company. He has over 40 years of experience in the hotel and restaurant management business. Ms. Greentree will be serving as the resident licensee for this location. She's owns her current house for almost 30 years now and is a registered voter in Anne Arundel County. Although this is, as I indicated, is a change of owner and operator, the hotel is remaining as is. Employees are staying as is. Operation is staying as is. It's a 157-room hotel that does maintain a food service facility license. The hotel does not have a bar. It simply serves beer and wine out of the pantry/market area, which is adjacent to the front desk. The hotel currently has 25 employees, 4 of which are involved with the sale or service of alcohol, all of whom have been trained through the TIPS program for alcohol awareness training, which is a state-approved alcohol awareness training program. The hotel will card any individual who purchases alcohol. And as I indicated, the pantry is completely adjacent to the front desk, so it's under surveillance at all times. Both licensees have received a copy of this board's rules and regulations, and they understand that as licensees what their obligations are. Both are fit and proper people as evidenced by their application and background checks. So with that, I turn it over to the board for any questions you might have regarding this transfer.
All right, thank you, Ms. Schreckengast. Mr. Chairman, any questions?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Snoops?
I have no questions.
All right, Ms. Schreckengast, anything you'd like to add before we turn it over for deliberation and decision?
No, thank you, Mr. Prelli.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead and make a motion to grant the transfer as requested. And I'm looking for a second.
This is Commissioner Duffy. I second the motion.
Second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Have a nice
Sure.
evening.
Wayne, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Thank you. I apologize. Chief Inspector Wayne Harris, calling Starting Gate Liquors, also known as K&S Spirits LLC. Angela Lin Chen, Managing Member, Zai Young Zhang, Member, George Milton Kleindenst, the third member. Inspector is Sean D. Ralston. This is a transfer. Currently, Brian Trim, Vice President, Helen Yang Kun Jung, Secretary Treasurer, and Hung Jung Chun, President on behalf of Finish Line Packaged Liquors, Inc., trading as the Starting Gate Liquors at 3495 Laurel, Fort Meade Road, Laurel, Maryland, 20754. This is a Class A license, beer, wine, and liquor, beer, wine tasting, as well as Sunday license privileges. There are restrictions on this license, and they are as follows. As of 5/4/2007, restriction 1, hours of closing will be Sunday through Thursday, 12 midnight, Friday and Saturday, 2 a.m. And the second restriction is licensees must have a security guard on the parking lot Sunday through Thursday from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, and on Fridays and Saturdays from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. That's the end of the restrictions. Anyone wishing to testify, please raise your right hand. Okay. Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Everyone acknowledge yes then. Please state your name and address for the record.
Angela Lin Chen, 8219 River Park Road, Bowie, Maryland, 20715.
Thank you. Next.
My name is Jian Zhang. My address 14001. Evening Drive, Bowie, Maryland 20721.
Thank you. Next.
George Kleindenz. My address is 354 Copeland South, Laurel, Maryland 20724.
Okay, thank you. And the last person?
Dear board members, I got hired as a, I got hired by the all applicants for this this application, and I would like
Excuse
to
me,
ask.
ma'am.
Yes.
I just need you right for now, just to identify yourself, name and
Oh,
address.
sure. My name is Chrissy Cheng. My address is 4232 Trumbull Court, Fairfax, Virginia, 22033.
Okay, thank you. And hold on, please. Mr. Fraley, they're ready to proceed, sir. No attorney.
Okay. This is your opportunity to present your case to the board. Ma'am, I believe you said that you were retained. We'll find out what you were retained to do, what your position is, but you can proceed by way of proper testimony or a combination of both. But if you could explain to the board what your position is in representing these applicants, and if you want to have them proceed by way of testimony, you can do so as well.
Yes, again, my name is Chrissy Cheng, and I got hired for this ABC application, ABC transfer application. And I'm not an attorney, but as the authorized agent, with everybody's permission, I would like to, to introduce the case and then introduce my client, who are 3 applicants, to save time, mainly. Yes, if the board members allow me to do it, I will gladly to join the hearing as the spokesperson.
I have a quick question. Is Richard Bittner your attorney?
I am not an attorney.
No, wait, but is Rick Bittner, is he representing Starting Gate? No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of the applicants have hired Richard Bittner. Okay.
Yeah, I have him in chat saying that he's representing the seller.
Okay.
He doesn't need to be promoted to a panelist if he's representing the seller. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So what we can do then, ma'am, you can proceed. The board may have additional questions of all of the applicants.
Okay.
But if you just want to present the case to the board you're certainly within your right to do so. And we can take it from there and see if the board has any questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can I proceed?
Yes.
Yes. This applicant, we are here to, we applied for the Class A transfer, Class A license transfer application. And the managing member, Miss Angela Lin Chen, is a US citizen and she came from China. And she has a long experience in the retail industry. And the ABC license is her first time, the opportunity and to everybody. And they do not have any intention to change in operation or including operation hours. They would like to keep, the whatever operation type, all the starting gate liquors. And they do not, all of us, neither of them has any criminal background and neither of them has any ABC violation history either because and they are all of three, they are familiar with the Arundel County ABC related rules and regulations. And then they, except Mr. Kleindienst, who joined as a resident applicant, except him, the Mr. Zhang and Ms. Chen, they received a tip training and they got alcohol awareness certificates, which was provided to Mr. Aronson this morning. So please ask any questions and the applicant is ready to answer. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
No, I just want to thank the applicant for stating that there would be no changes in the operation hour and no changes to be requested on the restriction.
Yeah,
So I do thank them very much for that. But I have no question other than my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Snoops, any questions?
I have no questions.
All right. Mr. Chairman.
I'll make a motion that we approve the transfer. And looking for a second.
This is Commissioner Duffy. I would love to second the motion. However, I'm trying to figure out Mr. Bender sending a chat in reference to being a representative for the seller.
Yeah, that's what I was questioning. He was sending, he wanted to be brought in as a panelist, but he's representing the seller, so he doesn't need to be part of this hearing.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's why I had asked them if he was representing them, and they said no.
So other than that,
We're good.
Mr. Chairman, I have no other question.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Duffy, were you gonna second the motion?
Yes, I do second the motion.
Okay. Any additional comments? Okay, I move that we approve the transfer as stated and looking for a second, or excuse me, all those in favor say aye. You threw me off.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is
Aye.
carried. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and good night to everybody. You're all excused. This is Chief Inspector Wayne Harris calling the next case, Vino Volo, known as BWI VV License Go Maryland LLC. Karen K. Suttle, Vice President, Secretary, Director, General Counsel. Claude Louise William, President, and Director John Douglas Jameson, Treasurer, Vice President, and CFO. Inspector is Yvette Chang Fisher. There are no restrictions on this license. This is a transfer. Currently, Jonathan Gologorski, CFO, and Douglas Tomlinson, CEO, President on behalf of Taste Inc., trading as Vino Volo, BWI, Thurgood Marshall, AB Corp. A10, Baltimore, Maryland 21240. This is a Class SAC, Special Airport Concessionaire license. Anyone wishing to testify, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Please state your name and addresses one at a time. Ms. Subtle, if you'd like to start. You're muted, ma'am. Ms. Subtle, you're muted.
She's
We can't
trying.
hear you. Thank you. Now try. Name and address for the record.
Karen Subtle, 1932 Corner Road, Powder Springs, Georgia, 30127.
Okay, fine. The other two gentlemen will unmute and identify yourself, name and address.
Good evening, Claude Guillaume, 3600 Woodlark Drive, Roswell, Georgia, 30075.
Thank you.
And I'm John Jameson, 243 Powers Cove Northeast, Marietta, Georgia, 30067.
Okay, Ms. Carter, would you identify yourself as the attorney, please?
Thank you. Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board and staff. My name is Linda Carter. On behalf of Carter Law LLC, I'm here on behalf of Trading as Vino Volo in the airport.
Okay,
And
thank you.
in this,
Okay.
Ms. Carter, you can proceed. You can go right ahead and proceed.
thank you. In keeping with my promise to help get you out by 7, I will, with the board's permission, make proffers. We're here today on a full transfer. It's been necessitated by the ownership of Vino Volo, which is a national chain located in lots of airports throughout the country, and a few scattered individual units has been sold. And this transfer is to reflect that sale. There are being absolutely no changes in the mode of operation. It will continue to be a great place in the airport where you can buy a bottle of wine, a case of wine, or get a small plate that's absolutely phenomenal with a great glass of wine. We do have with us Christina Apple, who is the manager and has been at this facility for a very long time. She runs it well. She's alcohol awareness certified. She's got 6 staff people. She's constantly in the process of making sure that they are trained. They don't accept verticals IDs. The unit has been open since 2008 without violation. Hours are generally 9 to 10, 7 days a week. Saturdays, usually till about 8. COVID hours because of airport operations. Hopefully we'll be able to expand those hours once travel resumes. And my proffer would be that the information contained in the application, as has been submitted to you, remains true and correct. The licensees, even though they all live in Georgia, recognize that they are responsible to this board for any violations of the rules or laws of the state that will not occur. But if there were to be such a violation, you could in fact require them to personally appear before you. And that would be our case, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carter. Before I turn it over to the board for any questions, can we get Ms. Apple's address for the record? I'm not sure that we got it, and I just want to make sure we have it.
Thank you. You're on mute.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have asked for it.
You're still on mute.
It's weird.
Ms. Carter, do you have her name handy or do her address handy?
I do not have her address.
Okay.
I can supply it to the board.
That's fine. If we can't get her,
Yeah.
if you can supply it, just send an email
I'll
or something
send you all
with her
an email
address
tomorrow
so we
morning.
can just have it for the record. All right, great. Thank you. And sorry to cause that issue there. Mr. Maloney, any questions?
No questions.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
No questions from Ms. Carter, but I want to say that I do miss seeing your son. The last time we had a hearing, you had your son with you.
And he will be back before you, I promise. He's being inundated. This is a little bit more than he bargained for.
Okay, just tell him Commissioner Duffy missed him.
I will do so, sir. Thank you.
I have no question.
Commissioner Snoops, any questions?
I have no questions.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
I'll make a motion that we transfer as requested, and looking for a second.
This is Commissioner Duffy. I'll second the motion.
Second the motion. It's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And may I please be excused? And the next case has 24 minutes. Y'all have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ma'am.
I wasn't sure, who requested 7 o'clock? I mean,
I don't know. I was wondering that myself.
okay.
Me?
Normally that you did? No. I would have thought 6:30, but
The next case will be Lido Pizza, known as DSMS Pizza LLC, Devani Yaz, president and owner. This is a new license located at 7050 Friendship Road, Pier B, Baltimore, Maryland 21240. This is a Class SAC, Special Airport Concessionaire license. Anyone wishing to testify for or against? I believe I'm showing Mr. Devani.
Yes, how are you?
I see no video, and he's,
Can you hear me?
yeah, now we're okay. We can see you now.
How are you?
Sir, if you would, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly declare and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please state your name and address, sir, for the record.
The name is Devani, Dhvani. Last name is Vyas. The address is 5004 Sinope Way, Beltsville, Maryland, 20705.
Okay, I see we also have Ms. Baldwin. We cannot see you, Ms. Baldwin, and you're muted as well. I believe you're the attorney of record.
That's right.
There we go.
There you are.
Thank you. Sally Baldwin. I'm from the law firm of Counsel Baradell, Cosmerl, and Nolan on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Devani Vyas.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fraley.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. Ms. Baldwin, you can present your client's case by way of testimony, proffer, or a combination of both, but we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So I understand you've received and accepted the application and supporting documentation. So I will present by proffer. On behalf of Mr. Vyas, the posting has been displayed for the past 10 days. And as you indicated, this is for a special airport concessionaire license for DSMS Pizza. It's trading as Lido's Pizza. It's a franchise, and it is in Pier B at BWI. That's after security. Mr. Vyas is the applicant. He's the sole owner of DSMS Pizza. He leases the space from the airport for 2 different Lidos, one before security, one after. This application is for the location after security in Pier B. Mr. Vyas is a fit and proper person to hold the license. He's never been convicted of a felony or of violating the laws governing the sale of alcoholic beverages in Maryland. He's a naturalized U.S. citizen. He's a resident of Prince George's County, where he's lived for 12 years. And he is an experienced restaurant owner. He will be actively involved in the operation. He's on the premises 7 days a week, and he has a long history in the restaurant industry. He understands the responsibilities, has a copy of, he has read, he understands, he's familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, and he agrees to comply and to make sure his employees comply. He's qualified to hold this license. He's held 2 liquor licenses, one in Montgomery County, one in Prince George's County, each for several years, and neither was revoked. This Lido's is an existing restaurant. It's been operational for about 2 years, and it's been operated by Mr. Vyas for about 7 months. This particular restaurant, it is a counter service, food and drinks, and it is one of 4 restaurants that's part of the Pier B cafeteria. It has about 30 shared seats. Alcohol is served from the counter along with the food for the Lido's. And there's one other location in that food court cafeteria area that also sells beer. That's Gachi Sushi. There's 3 other restaurants in this cafeteria location. For this particular Lido's, there's only about 600 square feet. So there won't be a bar. Wine is going to be served in airport regulation white cups, and prepackaged canned beer and cocktails such as Truly or White Claw will also be served. So Mr. Bias intends to operate with a 2-drink maximum, and the consumption of alcohol is only going to be right there on the premises of the cafeteria. There's signage for this cafeteria that alcohol can only be consumed on the premises of the cafeteria. Patrons cannot take it outside of that limited area. The standard hours of operation for this Lido's is from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. Food and alcohol is intended to be served that entire time. And the food that's served there is pizza, appetizer, salad, sandwiches. And again, Mr. Bias will be certain that all the employees comply with the laws and the regulations relating to this license. There are currently 6 employees at this location. All the staff are over 21. The manager and the applicant are both alcohol awareness tip certified, and other staff will be trained as well. And either the applicant or the manager, the two that are currently TIPSAT certified, are on present at the premises every day. Mr. Bias would testify as to the demand and the need. He or his employees are asked daily if they serve alcohol, and if they don't, where can somebody find it? The airport ownership also supports this license. The landlord, that's the airport, said they're looking forward to having this Lido's serving alcohol in Pier B. This will enhance and create a pleasant airport experience for travelers once they're past security, give them a place to relax for a limited amount of time while they're waiting for their flight. As I said, there's one other location in this food court, the sushi restaurant, that does serve beer. But this is the only Italian restaurant that's looking to serve alcohol as a complement to the food being served. There is also in Pier B one other location. It's a Mexican restaurant that also serves alcohol, but that's not really part of this cafeteria. This is the only location of its type. And so this is an appropriate location for this requested license, and there would be no real impact as to health, safety, and welfare as it relates to crime, traffic, parking, as this is post-security. And so this isn't really available to the general public. The clientele is going to be limited to travelers who are already through security and are waiting for their plane. And again, Mr. Bias's experience and background in the restaurant industry should instill a high level of confidence that he will respect and honor the responsibilities that go along with this license. And that would be our presentation.
All right, thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Chairman, any questions?
I do one comment. The packet that you sent was wonderful reading. I think you lead the league in as far as the side goes. It was a lot there. Anyway, but
thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I would have a comment with regard to the 2-drink minimum. How are you planning, or what's your thoughts on that?
2-drink maximum. So there wouldn't be more than 2 drinks served to any.
I'm sorry, maximum. Whatever. That's what I mean. So you would keep track. The hostess and the waiter would basically just make sure that 2 was the limit.
So all of the food and the alcohol would be served. It's counter service, so everything would be served from the counter.
Okay.
So they'd be able to keep track of it that way.
Because I know sometimes you're waiting and all of a sudden your flight is canceled or postponed, and then it's postponed again, and you could sit around for a few hours. But thank you. No other questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
No, I have no question. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Snoops, any questions?
No questions.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
We'll make a motion that we grant the new license for Lido's, and looking for a second.
I second the motion to grant the new
Motion
license.
Seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 The motion is carried. Congratulations and good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
I guess that wraps it up. As they say, I'll make a motion to adjourn the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hang on a minute. Hello? Yeah.
That was my fault. Ignore that. Just go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was wondering what you were doing.
It seemed like a cloak and dagger kind of a thing, you know? We shouldn't be, I saw a call come in and I adjourned the meeting and then he calls me. But anyway, the meeting is adjourned. And the hearing's over. So I guess whoever
Okay.
said 7 o'clock.
You have 3 minutes.
Jimmy.
I hope that you're.
Wasn't me. Yeah.
I hope you're here
It
next
wasn't
week.
me. I can assure you that.
Make sure you're here next week.
Maybe it was Judy.
No. Hey, I had Daryl listening. Wasn't me.
We got to hurry home now.
I know. I got an hour and 10 minutes ahead of me.
Okay.
Have a safe
All
trip.
right.
All
All right,
right,
guys.
y'all be careful. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Bye.
Uh-huh.